Welcome back, everyone, to round 5 of AGE Open. We've got another game lined up for you today. Azalea versus Kano. 2 Kano matches back to back.
Going to be interesting.
Yeah, we're trying to make Kano look bad, giving him the worst possible matchups on camera. So all you people at home, stay off of this wizard, this toxic wizard, doing all his combo stuff. We don't know how he works.
Total psyops.
Yeah.
Interesting. We've actually got another Arcane Rising hero matchup here.
Yeah, true. Yeah, some old school heroes here. You got the Dash, the Azalea, the Kano. Yep. And I believe, what table are they at right now? Do you know? I don't know if we remember that.
Oh.
But they're high up there. So one of these, table 5. So
5.
the winner of this has a shot of getting into top 8.
We've taken one of the 3-1 matchups.
Right. Of course, the last round will still matter. But we're looking at some of the best players here at AGE today.
Cream of the crop of California.
Exactly. So I think the players are just setting up, and we'll get into that match soon. One of the things that makes this a tough matchup for Kano is the fact that Azalea, like Dash, has a lot of natural arcane barrier on her equipment. So has the defenses packed into her kit to block that arcane damage. Not every hero has that, which makes it sort of difficult. And at the same time, you also need the blues to support it. So one of the things that Dash has that Azalea doesn't as much is a suite of blues. So hopefully maybe a little bit easier to sneak some stuff in. Ryan Brown. Oh, we have a player profile here for Bryce. Good friend of mine, plays at my locals. He's typically playing on Azalea. Just had a child. Wonderful, beautiful,
Congrats to Mr.
daughter.
Platz.
I hope I didn't get that wrong. But I haven't seen him around as much since he's a new father. But he still makes time to play Flesh and Blood. I know he loves this game. Really great guy, too. If he was doing worse, we might have seen him on the desk today, but he's opting to play today.
It's good for his sake that he's doing really well.
Oh, yeah, we're happy for him.
Because we'll see how far he can take it. Hopefully a top 8 for him.
And just chatting away.
Interesting that you mentioned the robust blue base that Dash has over Azalea, because as of late, following suit to Brody Spurlock, a lot of blues were cut from Azalea lists.
Interesting.
So Bryce is playing just Knock the Death Whistle as a 3-of, and that's it. That's all she wrote for blue.
Wow. So despite having a lot of natural arcane barrier, maybe not a lot of ways to actually use it in this list. We'll have to see how things line up. Now, the difference, of course, is that Dash doesn't have any on-hits, whereas Azalea can dominate a bunch of on-hits.
True.
I say no on-hits, but then, of course, we saw the Signal Jammer, so that's as good as an on-hit.
That's
still very disruptive.
You have no agency. It's out in the battlefield.
Exactly.
Play by my tempo, please.
Yep. So, looking forward to this one. We'll see what the Kano can do. See what the Azalea can do.
Yeah, Ryan won the die roll there after a quick re-roll, so I'm pretty sure.
So typically the Kano will want to go first here because you don't want to get hit by a huge dominated arrow on turn 0. And we start off with a Tunic counter, a hand with a couple of blues, and is that a Tome of Fjendal? Fantastic card to put in the arsenal.
Let's use this incredible technology.
Can we?
Let's peek at his hand. Blue Emeteris.
A yellow something. I think it was a Tome.
3 blues. This is good for digging.
Yes, very good
shipping.
turn 0, depending on what we see on the top. Hoping for some good. Yep, and there's the Tome. So he'll want to put that in the arsenal, get the full value. Ooh, love to see that. Sonic Boom. If this deals damage, he will be able to banish the top card of his deck. Play it as an instant. 4 Arcane. And looking at the side of Bryce, he has Arcane Barrier 2, 1 on the helmet and 1 on the gloves.
He does have a couple yellows in hand, so shrinks this to just 2.
Covers 2 of it, and oh, good start so far. If he can push a lot more arcane damage, that could be a lot coming out here, turn 0. Taking 2 from the Sonic Boom, so far 2 damages hit. Oh. Well, this isn't, it's 4 damage. And he decides to just send it, saying, let's push the damage here.
It's still Ryan's turn, so he won't get the boost, but it's still...
Yeah.
It's still some damage and some chip on...
Pitching a yellow in, and then he just sends this Blazing Aether for 4, because 4 Arcane has connected. And there's the rest of his hand, taking a total of 6 damage on turn 0.
Yeah,
Great start for Ryan.
Bryce is playing Azalea IO with that life total now.
Yep,
So
34.
he's feeling great about that.
Uh-huh. Ryan Brown opting to deal the extra damage rather than keeping an arsenal.
I think that's absolutely correct,
Yep.
though.
You want to push as much as you can. Get him into lethal range as soon as possible.
Okay, starting with Tunic from Bryce. Thinking over this hand. Let's see if we can get behind the driving wheel.
Yep.
A take aim.
I saw Remorseless.
Oh, I think I saw
like
a
a
barbed
Bolton shot.
undertow.
Oh.
A Bolton shot. I think his hand is
So
all red.
just all arrows here.
Mm.
Not what he wants to see.
Yeah, kind of awkward. Although he does get to play pitchless if he uses the take aim, but he'll elect to use Death Dealer.
Yeah. Trying to hopefully get some kind of
That looked like another
pumps.
red to me.
And there's a pump and yeah, take aim. So a couple pumps into this Bolton shot coming in.
Just a solid 10.
Go again 10 with a reload on hit.
Blood Rot isn't nothing.
One
against
card in
Kano.
hand. See how Ryan wants to approach this.
He's got his Potion of Deja Vu, and all of these cards otherwise block, so he's got that option of laying down the entire hand. Or might like to do it another way.
Blocking for 3.
Take a grand total
Taking
of
7.
Yep.
Going down to 23 life here. And getting that Blood Rot Pox. This will deal 2 damage at the end of his turn if he does not pitch 3 resources into it.
Bryce will reload and then cross wraps.
Yep. Looks at the top.
Mm.
Looks like he's leaving it there. Thinking about the Azalea trigger. Doesn't have the resources to play the Remorseless.
It's unfortunate he didn't have a yellow to pitch here. Otherwise, the Remorseless would end up on this chain, I think.
Yep. He's going to Azalea, which
hitting
means
the button.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
just
nets him a pump for next turn.
Yep. He'd rather have that pump in the arsenal so that he can have something that he can, with go again, that he can get out.
Now, to the untrained eye, it might look a bit like a whiff here, but honestly, Azalea as of late isn't too phased with like finding a pump in that way.
Yeah.
Because it's just another card that you get.
Ryan Brown playing out the Sonic Boom, pumping it up with the Crucible of Aether Weave for coming in for 4 arcane damage, and on hit, banish the top card of your deck, reduce its cost, and allow you to play it as an instant.
At least from Bryce's end. We're looking at another yellow. I saw a Codex.
Yep. Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about at the start of the game. No blues in the deck. Well, a suite of 3, you said. Knock the death whistle. So he's not going to have the resources to block.
He's taking it all.
He just takes it all. And a tome off the top. That is a fantastic hit for Ryan Brown. Going to allow him to draw 2 or pump 2 if he so chooses. Usually the Kano players like the draw, and it looks like he hits 2 blues, 2 blue prognosticates. This is fantastic, allowing him to dig even deeper into the deck. This time hitting an Aether Flare blue. This one says if it deals arcane damage, the next spell you play gains X, where X is the damage dealt by arcane flare or Aether Flare.
Yeah, now even though this is just a blue, it might tempt Bryce away from some of his cards to avoid.
And he just sends it out.
Yeah.
Of 2 floating resources and potential buff to the next arcane spell coming out. Bryce does not like that.
No, I completely understand after staring at the past 2 hands he had to deal with. Ooh, we're taking more on the chin here.
Yep. And it looks like he paid for it, which may have been a mistake. Unsure about that. Since it would have been reduced by the Sonic Boom. Ooh, and look at that. That's a lesson and a Blazing Aether. Or a Wildfire, rather.
No, I think the Sonic Boom targeted Tome?
You're right. Of course.
You
So
get-
he
you-
did.
you
He
get
Kano'd
that
for
yeah,
that.
you
Correct.
get that free cast.
Thank you for that correction.
Mm.
I didn't see what he put in his arsenal. Did you catch that?
No.
Okay. So
Got a wild little.
whatever it was, he will probably want to replace it with that wildfire at the end of this turn. So we'll see how he plays this out to navigate. Setting up lethal.
And yeah, Bryce is ever closer after taking a bunch of arcane on the chin here.
Yeah, he really needs to threaten a lot here.
Leading with Seek and Destroy.
Pitching his Codex.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to have those extra resources, but there goes one of his more powerful cards.
Priority passes. Merc my grapnel.
Yep. Drawing a card off of the Death Dealer as he puzzles this turn together.
How many grapnel does he play in this list? Does he have a full play set? He does. Of reds. Just to hate on Prism.
Yep, really good card against Prism and other decks that may want to run things like Oasis, although really Prism has the most consistent ability to prevent damage using the wards from her angels.
Well, come Mistveil, another illusionist with ward all over the place
Stonks
in Enigma.
going up on the Merkmeyer Grapnel. And it looks like an Enlightened Strike. Coming in 5, go again.
Very interesting.
Looks like maybe they were talking about something there, making sure everything was done correctly. Both nodded in agreement as this comes out. 5 damage being threatened. 21 life Ryan Brown sits at as he says, oh, did he choose draw? Oh, yes, of course. So he's using his snaps. He's really going as hard as he can here. It looks like he knows that he doesn't have long to live, and he just needs to push every point of damage that he can here. So opts to draw the card just to gain a little bit of extra width on this turn.
Send another 10.
Double pump into this Merkmeyer. Yep, 10 damage showing up. Blood Rot threatened on hit. Ryan Brown with 4 cards in hand. Bryce with 1 and 1 floating. So really well played with Bryce, kind of pushing as much damage as possible while still leaving as many resources as possible to cover up a potential combo.
Yeah.
Well played.
Quite a different way to approach it, because it would be fairly easy to just save Snapdragons and not value like a bonus card in other matchups, but this is Kano.
Yep.
So given that Bryce has seen a couple hands where it was only 1 yellow or no yellow,
yep,
he knows that if he doesn't hold something back, he's at risk of dying incredibly fast.
This is a very important turn for Ryan. He needs to think about, you know, he has the pieces, but I would say, doesn't quite have what he needs to send it. And
he says, I fold.
Just blocks all of it right here. 12 block in front. So his arsenal must be an important combo piece in order for him to make a decision like that, because otherwise he would really probably want to save that wildfire and get it into arsenal. Instead, just opting to preserve the life total.
And if I'm Bryce, I'm very happy to see all of that, because I get a free turn without giving up any cards.
Yeah, able to push some damage and
peer at what he's dealing with.
Go again.
Okay, another Seek and Destroy. There's at least 2 pumps in this hand. A Spire sniping. So he's got his bases covered with the yellow for the turn. He's just ruminating over the top card of the library. And having already spent Snapdragons, he's really got to make the 1 arrow count, unless it's Bolt and Shot.
True.
Because he's only got 1 access. He's only got access to 1 action point, really.
So he puts that top card on the bottom. Doesn't like what he sees with the Skullbone Cross Wrap opt.
Oh, he holds 1 blue. He's got 1 copy of his knock in there.
He found the Knock the Death Whistle. That's a fantastic blue to have, because you can hold on to it for the Arcane Barrier, but it's also not a bad arsenal target, so you don't mind holding on to it as a little bit of a shield at the end of the turn.
You also have to be really careful when you pop Bullseye's, if at all, into Kano, because that's one of your arcane barrier sources.
Yeah, probably not something you do unless you have to.
Yeah. It's the push comes to shove when you activate it.
Yeah. You might be able to get away with it if the Kano has already blocked that turn and you're threatening lethal.
Stephen Cookus in the chat, give me Kindle already. Well, you're going to have it soon enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fire emojis. That's pretty hot.
It's getting hot in here. And Kano will singe off all your clothes. Ooh,
and we see
the blind Azalea.
That's a good hit. And you see Ryan Brown kind of looking up at the camera, maybe thinking, okay, it doesn't get much better than this for the Azalea player, as he then does a seek and destroy. Ryan Brown might have to pull the trigger right now, whether he's ready or not. And knowing that we have the knock the death whistle in hand, really interesting play. Bryce could have Bryce could have played that knock to guarantee the sleep dart, but instead took the risk so that he could hold the blue back. This is a really tough spot for Ryan Brown to be in. He doesn't know that Bryce has the blue, but he does know that he's going to lose that arsenal if this hits, and he has no way to stop 8 dominate.
I wonder if it's a case of he'll play the arsenal out on his turn.
An Eye of Ophidia is a great thing. Let's see if we can catch what he's looking at here. Oh, no, he has... Yeah, so that's an Emeritus Scalding Blue. And
Swell Tidings?
No, I think that is it's a 1 for 4 Aether Quickening.
Oh, Quickening.
Yep. So he'll definitely want to put that on top for his hit, and he's got 3 more blues in hand, so he definitely has gas to go off here if he wants to. The question is, how is he going to use his equipment or just send everything, take the 8? Very critical spot in this game as he plays the Aether Quickening, or at least banishes it, showing that he will likely play it in a moment. Ryan Brown.
Very tense here.
Doing the math, figuring things out. Uses that.
Both players are operating with a lot of unknowns right now as well.
Uses the weapon. 1 floating, 5 arcane damage coming through. Bryce looking at his hand. Does he want to block this damage? Give up the blue now for 5 vanilla, and he pitches a yellow.
He's going to keep that blue as hidden information.
Very, very heads up.
Stop all the arcane that he can.
So, stops 2, takes 3. And we've got a blue Voltic. Is that?
Oh, pardon me, that's blocking probably.
Okay, blocking that. Yep.
He'll take 5.
Okay.
Under a sleep dart.
And then I think in his hand he has an energy potion. Really interesting that he's going to allow the arsenal to get destroyed here.
I'm
not
that
sure.
is if he doesn't play it out.
True. Well, he has, I think his last card is an energy potion, so something's going away. And it looks like, it's the Blazing Aether.
A big smile from Mr. Platz there.
Yeah, but 11 health is quite a lot to work with until you see a 14 dominate come through, and suddenly it's not. Knock the Death Whistle being revealed off the Skullbone Cross Wraps as Bryce takes a peek at
what has
his...
Bryce got? He's got a Bolton shot, he's got a pre-med. He's got a good turn that he could string together.
Yeah.
He will consult the arrow gods.
So he kept
going for the Azalea.
Card on top. Hits that infecting shot.
Will he pay? Will he pay?
Looking at the quiver.
Because you can just add 1 damage here. He has access to Tunic, so it's definitely within like the resources. It's just... He's still staring down Kano. Not another hero, so he has to be very mindful of keeping the cards back.
Yep, feeling relatively safe with only 4 cards in hand, but the energy potion does add a little bit of extra question mark to that. It's possible for Kano to go off as long as he has enough resources and the right spread of cards in hand. We do know that he's already seen a Wildfire and blocked with it, as well as now his Blazing Aether has been put in the bin off of that Seek and Destroy.
Yeah, I think two wildfires have gone because one was on
Yep.
the first turn.
It's actually a very sort of dangerous spot to be in if his last wildfire is at the bottom of his deck.
Double premeditate. Ooh. That means a choice of 2 pondered cards to put in Arsenal.
Oh, did I want to see his hand? So, no, blue flare. Okay. Thought I saw the wildfire there. 11, dominate, blood rot on hit. That's exactly how much life Ryan Brown has. He does not like to see that, right?
No, this is really tough.
And knowing that his out is wildfire and that he only has 1 left in his deck, things are suddenly looking pretty grim for Ryan. Really needs to see his combo cards in the next hand or 2.
Yeah, he was having a really good time in the early game, especially with the turn 0 chip.
Yep.
With Sonic Boom. But a lot more of the middling hands where you don't have a truly good target for Striders and you have no Arsenal.
No Arsenal's tough. He does need to get something rolling here as he thinks about which card to block with to stay alive.
Actually, knowing his list and that he's also on a stack Kano, I had no idea if he'd bring in defense reactions knowing it's Azalea, but I guess the best thing to do in the matchup is just blow him up.
Yeah, I can tell you this right now. I have tried stack Kano into Azalea, and I have never succeeded. It's very difficult with the amount of dominate.
I was going to say, they go wide enough with Bolt and Shot that it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's just, you can't guarantee getting there. And so he blocks 3, goes down to 3 with a Blood Rot Pox token and then 2 Ponders on the side of Bryce.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if he has an Arsenal target that he's happy with here either. I think he's probably not thrilled. Is that a...
And that's Bryce cleaning up. We will see what Ryan retorts with.
Yeah, he's got the Tome of
Lessons?
Is that a lesson? I think that's a Tome.
There's Tome and Lessons.
Lessons, okay, great. So a Lessons is a phenomenal target. As he just plays the Tome, drawing 2 cards, hopefully 2 blues for his sake, and it looks like that is the case.
I saw Spindle. I don't know if that's a red.
Oh yeah, red Spindle, not really what you want to see. Pitches to Kano, and a red Aether Flare is great. He really, really wants to strip cards here. The more cards he can strip from Bryce on this turn, the less cards Bryce has to block into combo on the following turn.
Yeah.
If he's able to get there.
The good thing is that he went to the magic number of 3.
Yep.
So the Blood Rot won't kill him. He'll barely be alive at 1.
Yeah. So he plays out the Aether Flare for 4, and I have to imagine Bryce doesn't want to take 4, possibly 8, if this connects all the way. But I know he knows that any card he gives here is a card that he can't block into Wildfire.
No, absolutely.
And it looks like his hand may also be a lot of reds. I can't quite see from here, but shields look to be fairly down for Bryce. Very tense moment here.
I think his hand is, if not all red, 3 red, 1 yellow.
Okay. And it looks like Bryce just takes 4. That's
I think he's playing to the out.
A lot of damage.
Ooh.
And Ryan?
He Arsenal's Lessons. Goes to 1. Still has Potion and Tunic to work with.
So very good call. Bryce recognizing that Ryan didn't have the resources to play another spell that turn. Blue, 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 and a blue. That is a fantastic combination. It's not a Wildfire, but it is cards that can do damage. And I think Ryan might have to go here.
Yeah, he still has Lessons as connective tissue to find another damage spell.
Yep. But
Bolt and Shot making this turn wide.
Yeah, this is...
The awkward breakpoint means that he either has to rip it now or he's working with less cards.
Yeah, I think he has to rip it now. He's at 1 life. If he commits to blocking with 3 cards here, he's just dead. So Ryan's got to go. It's time. And he doesn't quite what he have what he wants, but
just
he's
gonna have to
almost
rock it,
there.
yeah.
He's almost there. He really wishes that blazing Aether in his hand was a wildfire, and he would just have exactly what he wants. But he's thinking about what he could rip, what his options are. Maybe he's thinking about sending a lessons into some other card.
I usually don't get on the edge of my seat with Kano games
Yeah.
because I'm usually on the receiving end and I think, oh,
Yeah, I know, it's
Hold
funny.
back a
As the
blue.
opponent, you don't have any information, so you just kind of feel like they always have it. But being able to see the Kano's hand, you really understand that the pieces need to be there, and they aren't always there.
yeah, today's feature matches have been a lot of back and forths and a lot of big swings of tempo.
Ryan in the tank, probably going to be there for a while.
We have all the time in the world, man.
The only thing that I can think of, and obviously I don't have the ability to do all the math right now, but possibly a lessons into a flare,
Mm.
and then hope for something good off the top that flare can pump up. Because otherwise, you're just blind Kanoing. I mean, if he blind Kanos into a wildfire, we're done, right? Game over. But
I mean, the maximum he can shoot it off of lessons is if he crucibles. Well, I guess
he doesn't need to crucible because Bryce only has Arcane Barrier too.
That's
So
true.
I mean, if he wants to find the wildfire, he does. But maybe, that might not be enough because the wildfire would then, if he pumped it with the crucible, then the wildfire is only for 5. I don't think that does it with the wildfire into the blazing.
No, I think you're right because flare would be a cheaper option
Yeah.
that bridges it to the next one, and then you've got blazing Aether.
Yeah. If it is possible to find lethal here, I don't see it. But Ryan Brown has 30 minutes. Hopefully he doesn't use all of it to think of a way out of this situation.
And Bryce has still got Tunic, so
Yep.
there's
Tunic
that part
is
of the
huge.
equation. Here we go.
Goes for the blind Kano. And it's a tome. This is huge. This is massive for Ryan. So if he draws 2 blues off of this, which is really what he wants to see, that can extend. Oh, he has a red in his hand too.
He also has Gaze.
Yeah. This is he doesn't have the resources he wants, even with this tome. I mean, the tome is helpful. I think he just has to pitch that Gaze. Okay, he goes for pitching the Cindering and a lesson. This is looking bad. This is looking bad. He does not have the resources that he needs to send things. I mean, you can see he's thinking Cindering Foresight, +1, opt 3, +1 damage, that is.
Take a peek at what we can do with the next 3 cards.
And we see...
That's a flare.
Yep.
That's a potion.
A flare is helpful. And a blue could be good off the use of the ragamuffins.
That's very true, actually.
We're
He put a
digging.
potion, and then immediately pitch it.
My intuition is still saying no, we don't have it. But we haven't seen everything yet.
He didn't like those.
He put them all to the bottom. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, he put all 3 there.
All 3. So I think he's calculated that his only out is Wildfire. But even then, I don't think he has the resources to get there. Does he go blind Kano again?
I think that's probably the next best thing. Because if he didn't like the top of the library, doesn't like what's in hand.
Yeah, it's got to be the only out. One copy left in his deck. Aether Wildfire. You know it, you love it, or you don't.
He's still got potion and tunic resources to play with, but even then, it's not a lot when you need to do the most.
Yeah. It's tough on the turn that you need to go. Having so many reds in hand just makes the math basically impossible. You need so many resources to get a good Wildfire turn off. You can see Ryan's looking kind of defeated, just praying. Oh my gosh, a
Ooh.
tome off the top.
I guess we'll keep digging.
He needs some blues. He needs
We need this hand cam.
blue.
That's a blue. That's a blue.
That's good. Okay, he has 4 cards in hand now. A lesson in arsenal and a lesson. Oh, so yeah, 2 blues, a blazing, and a lesson.
So he went from the depths to
He still needs to blind Kano into something, I think.
Mm.
Now he could potentially do a lesson, but I think if he plays the lesson first, it's not getting pumped by the wildfire. You know, if he's doing his math and he's being a diligent Kano player, he's probably taking these lines knowing that even if he used the lesson in lava and was able to search for the card that he wants, it's probably not enough.
He also gets to use the foresight boost.
Yeah,
if he
yeah,
wishes.
he's got the cindering on the stack, so that's going to help a lot with, you know, whatever he's playing next. He's counting the cards in his deck.
I wonder if nodes plays into this calculation as well.
I'm sure it's something that he's thinking about. There's so much math that Ryan has to do. If he wants to be diligent here and make sure that he's playing to his outs, he has to do so many calculations. This is what Wizard players love to do, though. It's just kind of like pulling a rabbit out of the hat, literally, right? The magician's secret is this math. Behind the scenes, he's doing his calculations, figuring out what possible outs he has.
We also got reigning US national champion Charles Dunn in the back there.
Yeah.
But I think he's viewing product on the shelf.
Maybe he wants to buy a board game. And there we go. Blind Kano into Sonic Boom. These Kano hits have been insane.
I think all 3 Sonic Booms have come
So
out.
this is making the blazing Aether look pretty good. The one in his hand. He has a blue. He has a lessons in arsenal, a lessons in hand. I wonder if he goes for a lessons now to get an Aether flare on the top. He has 3 resources available on the board. 1 from the tunic, 2 from the energy potion.
It still holds 2 blues in hand.
I think 1 blue now. He just pitched 1 to see the
player.
So he has a lesson in hand as well as, and he pitches.
Oh yeah,
he
has a second lesson in hand. Pardon me. We give Striders.
A little bit of an earthquake.
Was there a real quake here in Cali?
It looks like chat thinks there's a line. Lesson, lesson, blazing, blazing. We'll see if Ryan sees it. Starting off with a pumped lesson. Coming in for 4 arcane damage. And Bryce probably knows that he can't really do anything other than prevent some damage here. It won't stop him from searching for anything that he wants in his deck. No floating resources on this side of Ryan, and we know that in his hand is a blue. Lesson, wildfire, random damage into blazing 2.
So it's good that he's just sending this lesson from Arsenal with the foresight boost.
Yeah, if I was sitting here doing math, I couldn't speak at the same time. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to rely on chat and Ryan to do the calculations. But I think there is hope for the Kano here. Chat, if you can do the math and be confident and let us know, maybe you can solve this puzzle for us before Ryan gets there. Otherwise, we're just going to have to wait and see how this
Bryce
unfolds.
Gives 2 reds to shrink this to a 2.
And he finds the wildfire. We all know how dangerous this is. And I said there was a blue in hand, but did I see there's a blazing Aether in his hand
he has
earlier.
blazing Aether in hand as well.
So okay, so there's we know there's a blazing Aether there actually. So not the blue that I said earlier, which is great for dealing damage. Oh, he has 2 cards.
Yeah.
There we go. So a blue and a blazing. No mistakes on our end. And he pitches that blue. Shows the wildfire. Ragamuffins. Do we know? Let's peek. It's a blue.
Yep, so he put the blazing
This
on
is fantastic. Ryan may have found it. Bryce still has the Tunic counter, so he can block some damage. Pumping with the Crucible. He sends the Wildfire over.
He used Tunic for nodes.
And Tunic for nodes, so he still has 2 resources available.
This is 6.
Coming in for 6 damage.
So we have 2, 6. If Bryce doesn't stop any,
This is looking
8. Then it's 14 off of Blazing because it's 6
Okay.
boosted by
Yep.
8 done
So-
total.
He blocks 2 of it. Tunic
4.
and a red.
So Blazing
Goes to 16.
I think
4,
he
5,
has-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is what the
Nodes?
Blazing will come in for. Oh, but he has the
Oh!
Sonic Boom! That's got to be it. Wow. Sitting there right in plain sight.
he put
Coming
it
in
his
for
soul.
7 damage. Absolutely going to end the game here. I forgot about that card.
And
it was
there's
just sitting
Blazing.
there. Well
Ugh.
played from Ryan. What a combo. Amazing. Tome into tome. The blind Kano coming in clutch. He got a little lucky there, but man, Bryce.
This might just be the reason why people hate Kano. You know what? I can't disagree with that, chat.
I think that this is truly, who's the Marvel here? Is that Doctor Strange? Can
Yeah.
see into the future. That's just what Kano does, right? And we saw it. Ryan Brown was sitting there figuring out what
is my out?
are my outs, and he
Yeah.
played to them perfectly. And in this case, his outs were 3 perfect Kano draws off the top. Really,
Tome of Fjendell,
yep,
Tome of Aether win.
amazing.
The 2 blues I won.
Yep, he did not have the resources to pull off what he needed to do, and then he drew into them. Well played from Ryan. Not sending that lesson too early.
Nope,
Not ruining that perfect top of his deck that he had
not at all.
prepared.
No,
And he gets there. Wow, what a game.
that was intense.
Yep.
And I usually don't like Kano games, but I
think
saw
they're
both sides,
fantastic.
so that was fine. Very tense.
Yeah, they're great to cast if you kind of understand the wizard,
Yeah.
what they're trying to do there. And chat, of course, well done with the math. You guys helped us out a
Yeah,
lot.
we're backseating gaming
yep,
chat.
yep.
Very good, very good.
I didn't see anyone in chat talking about sending that Sonic Boom, so I think everybody forgot they had pitched and set that aside. Fantastic ending to the game. Huge combo from Kano.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well done, Ryan.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll get that Kano, Ryan Brown, in for an interview and find out
Take a very
how he's feeling.
do now.
Yeah, we'll go to a
We'll
quick
cut
break,
to a quick
and we'll
break.
be
Okay.
right back. And we're back. What a fantastic game. That ending had us on the edge of our seats there.
Me as well. Yep.
Can you just walk us through what you were thinking when you saw 7 damage coming? And I think it was 2 reds, a yellow, and a blue in your hand.
Yeah, I knew that he had to go again. I had to go for something. I wasn't going to be able to block out the second attack. And started doing the math, and the lessons in my arsenal wasn't going to get me there without taking some risks. And yeah, I woke up this morning. I said I was going to just go for the blind Kano and trust in it.
I mean, it's the only way to play him from what I've learned,
That's right.
especially in a spot like that. Was there a moment when you were like at the end there where you realized that, oh, like I have it? Was it only by the 3rd blind Kano that you kind of
when I
figured
hit
it out?
the Sonic Boom, I was like, okay, that's how I get the 3rd attack.
Yeah.
That's how I get through the AB. Knew I could get the blazing on top, and that was it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty
Wow.
good. Yeah.
How I feel like that game was pretty back and forth up until the end. A couple times I felt like you were in the lead, and then it felt like you fell behind. Can you just walk us through that entire game and kind of where you felt good and where you didn't feel good?
Yeah, I was happy with my turn 0. Getting the 6 damage in was great. And then from there, I felt like I didn't have great turns. I set up an E-Pod on one turn. I was happy that I faded some Arsenal Disruption at one point, but I wanted to go earlier in the game, and I had the Blazing. I saw he was going to try and Seek and Destroy me, and then I just drew a bunch of reds and yellows.
Yeah.
And so I had to full block. And from there, I was kind of on the back foot.
I saw you blocked with a Wildfire and I think a Lessons, which sitting where I am, I was thinking like, uh-oh, there goes his second copy of Wildfire. That's
Sure.
a dangerous spot to be in.
Yeah, I was really, and I'd already gone down to Lessons or 2. I'm not sure Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I knew that I had to probably use that lessons to find the last wildfire or get find it there.
Really, really fortunate ending to
Oh
that
my
game.
God. I mean, he's a great player, and
Yeah.
like last time we played at a ProQuest a couple weeks ago, he just completely destroyed me. Turn 0, 14 dominate, infecting shot, 2 blood rots. I was
As far as I can tell, as far as my memory goes, I've played him on Kano as I was the Kano. I've played him probably like 5 or 6 times. I don't think I've ever taken a game off of him.
Yep.
It's just so difficult when they hit you with that dominated seek and destroy or lace with inertia, and you're like, well, I can't go yet.
I know, you just really got to flip the game at a certain point.
Yeah.
And I think that was a little more than I'd like to flip it, but we got there. So
yeah, not what you want to have to rely on, but the Kano gods smiled upon you today.
I feel it. I feel the Kano gods.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fantastic game. Is there anything else, like, I don't know if you do any content creation or on any teams that you want to talk about?
No. If you want to play some Sealed on Wednesdays, I play at Hidden Fortress. And,
Hidden Fortress, okay.
It's good.
Show up at your locals, right? Yep. Anthony was talking about that earlier. Come play Flesh and Blood. You don't have to come to a tournament like this to enjoy the game. You can just show up at your local game store and get a couple games in, play with some people. We all love our new players, and especially with Mist coming out, hopefully we get some more new people showing up.
That's right. Just gotta hit off the top, pot of greed, draw 2. So
there you go. Yeah. Exactly. Love that card. Never played Yu-Gi-Oh before, but
me neither. But
I heard that one was.
I like drawing cards though.
Exactly. So. Well, I think that one technically has go again, whereas our tome only if you hit it off the top. So it's a little bit.
I was pretty lucky.
Better.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Well, it was really great to have you. Congratulations. I don't know if this seals you into the top 8, but it certainly gets you close if you aren't already.
I'm happy with the day so far.
Forward,
so,
yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
We will cut to a break here and see everyone shortly for our final round of Swiss before we cut to top 8.
Great.
See you in a minute.